you know why it kept running? Do you know why it made it through Prohibition? Did you look at that?
I do.
Okay.
Do
okay.
you?
I do. I'm just making sure you knew.
I'm glad
Maybe
you
we're
know.
Wrong.
Yeah, let's not tell anybody.
I'm not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
we're not even going to talk about it. Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I am Matt.
And I'm Jason.
And it is very echoey in here. I hope this is not picking up.
It's a little
I hope
echoey.
this isn't picking up. We are coming from the Mirror Twin Annex space, which is across the street from Mirror Twin Brewing. Traditional from the regular place where you can drink at Mirror Twin. Yeah. But you can rent this place out, and this is a fucking dope space. I was telling Jason, I think this is twice as big as both of those buildings over there put together.
No.
You don't think so?
It's about 1.5
But if you could sit up top there too, though, you got to consider all that.
The upstairs is nice. They've got 2 or 3 offices, an event space up there, and then like a little common area.
They got a rollaway TV, so apparently you can rent this space out, watch a game, or host your.
Well, people are coming when we're
bridal
done today,
shower.
so we got to go quick.
Oh yeah, we got. They actually have a group coming, so we're gonna get pushed down in a second. But yeah, Derek DeFranco over Mirror Twin let us host here, so this is fun. This is pretty cool. Thanks, shout out to Derek.
Thanks, Derek.
And contact Mirror Twin if you want to rent the space out. It's pretty cool. They got full tap handles and everything over here. But I try not to. I don't want this to be just like another like whiskey show, because there's a lot of those, but we do like our whiskey. So, and we haven't done one in a while.
We haven't. No, it's been a few.
So Jason's brought this one back here, this Old Overholt Cask Strength 11-year rye, which is we've been doing some research on it. It's got a lot of history behind it. I was gonna segue into talking about what you did today, but I killed the segue. Or what have you been doing lately? I haven't seen you in.
Man,
couple weeks, man.
I know. See, when you usually ask me, I say work, but this time I'm going to say work, but I'm also going to say where. So
Yeah,
I was in Cleveland.
I saw you went up to Ohio.
We got to go up there for like our holiday party. I actually liked that, doing the holiday party a little early, before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, just get it done.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like you don't have to compete with other people's plans and shit.
100%. But you know what I got to do up there? We actually ate at a brewery. Can't remember the name. Wasn't a very good brewery.
Okay.
But I did get to go to Fatheads on the way back home.
Love Fatheads.
Fantastic beer up there.
I saw you posted that online.
Really good food too.
Awesome.
And then I got to go to a distillery, River Roots. Our friends over on, Anthony and Kenny and Steven, they did a barrel pickup there recently, but I stopped in there. They had some 12-year-old rye, 95.5 MGP. So
nice.
Got a bottle of that and grabbed a bottle of single barrel Heaven Hill.
Okay.
What about you?
You came back with a lot of goods.
I did. So what have you been doing, man?
Nothing, man. Not even work. It's fucking industry's slow right now. I went and checked out that new restaurant that you went to, Mileta? Is that how you pronounce it?
Mileta.
Dude, it's really good. So I guess it's all Italian, and they got their pasta was amazing. I got some sort of like mushroom pasta, something like that. But yeah, it was really good.
Did you get the bread for the appetizer thing?
No,
you screwed up.
We got mussels, we got oysters.
Okay,
and the oysters were phenomenal. Do you like oysters?
I do, but Angie won't eat them seafood,
really?
So yeah.
They were phenomenal, but they were kind of pricey. It was like $22 for 6, but there was like 6 of them, and they were like sitting in some sort of like tomato sauce or something like that.
They were cooked? Or raw?
No, they were raw. Turns out I actually know both of the owners there.
Really? I don't even know.
I worked with one back in the day, and another one I've known since we went to church together when we were like young. Like I was in high school and he was in middle school, so that was pretty awesome.
Was that the satanic church you go to?
No, it was actually
a different one. Okay, I got you. Before that one.
Yeah, it's actually a pagan church, so we don't worship Satan. We worship other deities, but. They have a rose. They call it the Rose Room back there. It's named. I guess it's named after one of the owners.
That was awesome.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Did you go in it?
I walked by it. Nobody was in there when we were there that night.
Oh, did you just like? Did you peek in? Yeah. So one of the owners' name is Dallas Rose. I'm assuming he named it after himself, and it's got that little rose on the door.
It's awesome.
It's cool. It's got this like real speakeasy vibe because it looks like an employees only kind of door, just like the portal window. But you go in there and it's got that sloped ceiling like that, and I was like, I'm an architectural photographer, so I'm like. What gave you that idea? And he said he went to a restaurant in Dubai.
Wow.
And he said he saw it there, and that was the inspiration. I was like,
Didn't they have like vines in there too? Like something on the
I mean, I think it was like silk plants or something.
It was cool.
Like that.
It looked really cool.
That was awesome. So you can rent that space out too, apparently. But that looked awesome. Have like a little.
That was a nice spot here in Lexington, Kentucky, close to the mall. It's a weird location.
Fucking in the mall.
It is. It's right across from Cheesecake Factory, like literally.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but we enjoyed it too.
I loved it. It was a little pricey, but I mean, it was worth every penny.
But worth it.
Did you get the steak there?
We did.
Was it a New York strip?
Fantastic New York strip.
He claims, Woody is his name. He claims it's the best in town.
So here's something I'll say. My wife says I'm crazy about this. The two best steaks that I've had that I can think of, one would be Maletta. I'm not saying it's number one.
Yeah, but you're putting that up there.
Yeah. And then the other one would be Carrabba's about 10 years ago. Not even lying, dude. Not
10
even
years
lying.
ago?
Yep.
Okay, well, I actually used to work at Carrabba's. Which steak are you talking about?
I think it was a Tuscan ribeye, maybe, or Tuscan strip. It was something like that.
Okay, they actually had
fantastically seasoned.
They had a really good New York strip over there.
Maybe it was a strip. I usually get a strip if I go out. That's my go-to steak.
Yeah, no, that's...
But I mean, it was a thick cut. I mean, it wasn't Jeff Ruby's, but Jeff Ruby's is also 4 times the cost.
Yeah, it's like $50 for a steak.
So for the value, besides Texas Roadhouse, I would say that's the best. Yeah.
They had really good food when I worked there. We all loved it. But back then, like when I was working there, it was like chain restaurants were really the only restaurants you could go to.
For sure, here in town.
Yep. Yeah, the stuff that people, the artisanal stuff really wasn't popular back then.
Yeah.
So, no, that place is awesome. So we'll definitely be checking them out again. But that's it, man. And I've just been looking at this bottle of rye here that I want to open.
It's a very nice bottle.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Old Overholt cask strength, or just Old Overholt in general.
So, Old Overholt, this one here is an 11-year-old cask strength straight rye whiskey. It's coming from Jim Beam. That's who produces this at this time.
Yep.
It is 107.4 proof. This was a fall 2024 release. MSRP was roughly $100. Secondary, 120, 150, so not a ton of secondary.
Okay.
These, I've not seen this on the shelves here in town.
Is it distillery only, or is it?
There was some, I think there was some at the distillery, but I've not seen it at the shelves here. But where this came in, Jim Beam does like a box. Think of it as like a monthly subscription or quarterly subscription.
Right.
And in that box, our friend Jordan got one. He actually ended up with 2 of these. So
really?
I think he bought one at the distillery, so it was there. And then he ended up with the box one too.
How much is the box?
It varies.
So it's not like you
depends.
pay $100 or $200 a month and you get something?
No, I think it varies. Maker's Mark does one too, and they have their cellar aged in one. You know, like they'll have a cellar aged and something else. Other ones will be like single barrel picks they do or something, or stave picks. It's a nice feature. I mean, to have a limited bottle that you normally wouldn't get to be in those boxes. So anyway, from this is actually the second time they've released this one.
Okay.
The first one though was, I can't even open that damn thing.
You just keep talking.
I'll keep talking. So last year they did the first one. It was 10 years old and about 120 proof.
Okay.
This one's a little lower proof, but the story is the first release is a blend. So it's not, it's from different areas in the rickhouse.
Sure.
And so that's why it's a little bit higher proof. This one here was on the lowest floor, I believe, in the rickhouse, or one of the lower floors. The blend came from there. So generally in a rickhouse, the higher the barrel is in the rickhouse, the hotter it is, the higher the proof. Because there's so much. Yeah, I'm ready. Oh, it's good.
That's good. That's solid. Yeah.
So the higher in the rickhouse your barrels are stored, the higher the proof is because the temperature changes. Right. Heat rises, all that good stuff. The lower they are, very subtle, temperature changes.
I accidentally just pulled you a full pour there. So
yeah, I like that. It's about
looks
8
like
ounces.
we're getting drunk in the afternoon.
So anyway, this one's a little bit lower. It is unfiltered. Now, most whiskey is going to be chill filtered. Some of them are NCF or non-chill filtered. So I don't know what this unfiltered means.
Okay, I thought this one was NCF.
Well, it says unfiltered. I don't know if that means non-chill filtered or
I actually read that it was non-chill filtered.
You read wrong.
But it was a different website, so it could have been our website and we made it up. I don't know.
So have you ever had Old Overholt, any of their products?
No,
before?
I'm actually not super familiar with them. I'm a little more familiar now that I've done a little bit of research, but no, I'm actually not really familiar with them.
I wasn't either until probably about 10 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably about 2014-ish.
Okay.
We were out in Arizona for work, my old boss and I, a good friend, Travis, and we ended up in Tombstone, Arizona. Mm-hmm. We ended up when the town's kind of closing down. And there's this like saloon there. They invite us to play a poker tournament there with them. So of course we take them
for money.
Yeah, for like $20 or something, Yeah. So we play, and I win.
Did you really?
I did.
No
I used to play poker a lot, but there they had some rye whiskey, some Old Overholt, and she poured us some, and they had the dusty bottles sitting up on the bar and stuff. So it was Doc Holliday's bar, like named after him there or whatever. And she was telling us the history then, one of the oldest ones in the U.S. and all that. And based on their history, that's actually true.
So the whole Wild Western theme, apparently Old Overholt is a mainstay in a lot of those bars out
100%.
there. Not just Tombstone, but like a few other ones out there. That's the extent of the research that I did.
No, it's
that's
good.
all I saw.
It's solid. It's solid.
I'm glad I got to contribute it though.
So, everybody knows Jim Beam, right? So you've heard of that distillery. It's Beam, owned by Suntory.
Right.
So this is the oldest of all their whiskeys they offer. Overholt is.
Right.
The brand, that is.
Yes.
Not this bottle. But
exactly.
Old Overholt. It was actually established in 1810 in Pennsylvania by Abraham Overholt, which is the picture on the label.
Old man Overholt on the picture.
That is
Golly,
true.
he looks like a really pissed off Quaker.
He does,
doesn't he?
They called him, what they call him, something. He's a Mennonite. They call him something though, like the Maniacal Mennonite or something. Like, I don't know.
Cantankerous Abe. God, look how mean he looks. He's like not happy.
Here's what else they said on a little research is that this is actually a bottle that's less angry looking than the ones in the past.
so it gets worse.
Yeah.
This is them doing CGI to make him a little bit happier, more presentable.
So we'll take
funny.
a break from the history for a minute. But what are you getting on the nose on this one? Anything?
I wasn't getting a lot of rye spice, but I was getting like a few kind of fusel notes, which I'm not, a big fan of, but it's more than anything, it's actually surprising on something that is, what's the proof on this?
107.4.
Yeah, like usually you get that in something that's a higher proof.
Yeah, so you equate the proof to like a Weller Antique, the red label Weller.
Well, yeah.
It's the same proof.
No, yeah, you're right. But I mean, like the aroma, I feel like it's something that would come off something that's either younger or stronger.
I'd agree. The nose, not a ton on the nose for me. I mean, a little bit of oak, maybe a little bit of sweetness. Maybe like like honeyish. I don't know, like a deep kind of sweetness for me.
And actually on the palate, I get that.
Yeah.
I get some of that kind of like honey finish.
I get like a lemon almost on this one.
You really?
Maybe I'm thinking honey like a tea. You put like honey in tea.
I could see that.
A little bit of spice. It's a little, in the mouth or on the palate, it's a little thinnish for me. Is it you?
I agree. It's not real multi-dimensional. I'm not even sure I get a lot of the typical rye in there that I normally see in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's more of I think it's more of a bourbon rye.
Yeah,
right?
like a light rye? Mm-hmm. What, so do you know the malt bill on this?
I'll just make it up.
Let's do it.
I don't know. So you think of like the famous ones that we enjoy or I enjoy. The first one that comes to mind is a 95.5.
Yeah.
And that's 95% rye from MGP.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the more famous ones. This one here is probably my guess. I don't know what it is. I bet it's under 60% rye.
Like a 60-40 or like 50.
That's my thinking. I mean, I don't
something.
know. Hell, it could be way off. But somebody can tell us in the comments. Thank you if you do.
Yeah, I would like to know.
Did not look that one up. But I don't think it's bad.
I don't either. For a $100 bottle, I think I would expect a little bit more depth to it. Yeah. It's still an easy drinker though, which I always appreciate. This proof is my wheelhouse. I know this is a little
I think
for you because you got your balls hang down to your knees.
Yeah, I'm like who's that in South Park? Randy with the wheelbarrow. Take mine around.
I don't watch South Park.
You never watched South Park?
I've seen it before. I cannot get behind that.
Damn,
show.
I watched probably the first 10 seasons easy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've watched a couple episodes, but the humor is just like
awful.
It's horrible. Well, it's like not even funny half the time.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is.
But not every episode. I get that. So comparing this one a little bit, the other things we've had, and you said you've never had Old Overholt before, correct? Mm-mm. So I actually bought one today. This is their bottled in bond.
Bonded in bottle.
Bonded in bond. So it's 100 proof, at least 4 years old. Okay. So we know that.
Right.
But fresh crack, both of them are fresh cracks.
Right.
So I bet you magically have a new glass sitting there, don't you?
I do. Where did this come from?
I don't know. We could have stopped the cameras and got one.
Magic.
I'll let you pour your own.
Thanks, man.
I thought it'd be good to try it against each other, right? Sure. So, I mean, the color-wise off the top, I'll try to hold up the camera too if you can see, but in my left hand here, that is I'm blocking your camera.
It doesn't matter, go ahead.
This one here, left hand's the younger one, the 100 proof,
bonded in bond.
And then this one here, my right hand, is the 11-year-old. So definitely a color difference. Nose-wise,
I'm getting one thing that like putting these in my nose holes side by side. I'm noticing
the nose flavor.
Yeah, is that the 11-year-old rye is a lot more musty.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, and it's actually drawing out more sweetness.
Yes,
like,
that's the oak coming through, in my opinion.
The oak. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost 3 times the age if you think about it.
Yeah.
The younger one, the 4-year-old one, I almost get like a corn on the nose for me.
And on the tongue.
It's yeah, that's definitely a rye. You can. That's a young rye.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward too.
Is that one better than Sazerac rye for me? Yes, it is. That's a pretty good rye. I think that 100 proof there.
You think that is better than Sazerac rye?
Just their basic, the baby
Sure.
Saz. They'll call
Yeah.
it. Yeah. That's a 90. That's a 90 proof one though versus just 100.
Yeah.
That one probably between 3 to 6 years old. The Sazerac. This one's 4.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I could get behind that. I'm not the biggest baby Saz fan anyway, but
I'm not either. I keep a bottle just in case. But
Yeah.
for me, if it's a well-aged rye or something I want to try, I'll dive into it just a single pour like this. But they make a really good cocktail. It's a really nice cocktail. So that's probably what I would use. I would use the 100 proof for that for sure.
Yeah, until people started hoarding them and they were on the shelves for some reason, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, putting these side by side actually
It makes this one better.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It actually makes the 11-year-old rye better.
Scary. We're thinking the same shit.
No, so I'm be able to pull out a little more nuances that. It's not that I was unable to see them, but putting them side by side with a bonded and bond bottle.
Yeah.
You can tell those.
Give you some perspective there. I mean, just that's the way, because you've never had Overholt, so I get it. And I hadn't had it in a while.
I like it. Yeah. This, like you said, Old Overholt. There was a lot of issues with speaking this episode. There's a lot of things we are saying that is not coming out of mouths correctly.
I mean, I can talk pretty well.
I can speak betterer now. But yeah, this is the oldest continuously distributed whiskey in American history. Like you said, since 1810. What I thought was really impressive is that it was distributed all through Prohibition and World War II.
Correct.
After World War II, nobody wanted whiskey. They were drinking vodka.
Yep.
And they were still putting it out there. I read that sales sucked. They weren't selling, but they were still making it and they were still pumping it out.
Do you know why it kept running? Do you know why it made it through Prohibition? Did you look at that?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
I do. I'm just making sure you knew.
I'm glad
Maybe
you
we're
know.
Wrong.
Yeah, let's not tell anybody.
I'm not going to say
Yeah,
anything.
we're not even going to talk about it. No, okay, so during Prohibition, there was a way that if you made whiskey, you could continue to sell it. And that's if you had a permit to sell it medicinally. Yeah. But you had to get a prescription from a doctor. And the prescription was something like 1 pint, and it had to be like 100 proof, and it could only be like one every 10 days. Like, that's crazy. Like,
That's when you go to multiple doctors.
right, yeah. Well, back then you didn't have the internet, so I mean,
they couldn't track that shit.
Yeah, there's no way they could just be like Western Unioning like doctor notes back and forth, No, that's actually a great idea. If I ever get my time machine working and go back in time, that's exactly what I'm doing during Prohibition.
I could help you back then. We could figure out some shit back in 1800s.
There were 6 distilleries during Prohibition that were given permits to sell whiskey medicinally. Do you know who they are?
I do not, actually.
Okay. One was Brown-Forman. You ever heard of them?
No, never heard of them.
No, yeah, they're new. They're
New guys.
Yeah, they're coming around. Frankfurt Distillery,
Okay.
which is now
Buffalo Trace?
Buffalo Trace,
Okay.
exactly right. Shenley Distilleries, which,
PA.
maybe, I'm not actually sure about that, but they had like a rum, and they do a bunch of scotch.
Yep.
And I think they're owned by Guinness now. They don't do a ton of whiskey.
I want to say they were, and somebody can please correct me. I'm sure somebody will, but I think they do some ryes too. At one point they did a lot of ryes.
They've
think of Shenley.
They've done a little bit of everything. They're kind of like all over the place. PH Stitzel Distillery, obviously part of Stitzel Weller, which I guess closed in '92 but reopened in 2014 by Diageo.
Yeah, kind of. So that's Blade and Bow, I believe.
Okay.
What that is.
Glenmore, which does Kentucky Tavern and Yellowstone. They're part of Sazerac right now. And then the American Medicinal Spirits Company, or National Distillers.
That's this one.
That is this one. So they bought Old Overholt Distillery because the Treasury Secretary at the time, Andrew Mellon, was in charge of giving out permits. He owned Old Overholt. So somehow Old Overholt got a permit. American Medicinal Spirits wanted that permit, so they bought Old Overholt.
I bet it went through all the proper committees back then.
Oh, it had to. Yeah.
They did that back then.
Well, the government doesn't do anything wrong.
No,
and they're definitely they definitely play by the book. So there's nothing underhanded or nefarious
that's why
going
all
on there.
Congress and senators and everybody is billionaires.
I know exactly.
And their salary is like $80,000
on their $80,000 salary. Yeah. So very, very obviously playing favoritism there worked in his benefit, but
depends on who's looking.
No, I guess back in the mid 1900s, I might have done the same thing. I don't know.
I would have.
Well, yeah, it's not like they're gonna like post it on social media and like
everybody's gonna call you out on Facebook. You know?
Yeah, fuck with you. So yeah, I guess fuck that guy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
or good on you for.
I'd say good on you.
Working the system.
Then,
yeah. So. Whiskey's been around a long time. It's cool. I didn't know there was like so much history behind this brand.
Kind of crazy, man. I mean, you think about that. And if you look back in like some other history I found on this one is that in 1951 was the last drop of Overholt rye produced. Looked like the end. Looked like everything was going under, but it did remain. It was produced in Pennsylvania by National Distillers, what you were talking about, into the 1950s. But from the mid-1950s on, it's very like murky of who the hell made it.
Right.
Like, nobody really knows.
It kind of like passed hands, was sold, went here and then there.
That's right. Yeah. They think maybe, they think it stayed in PA, was making it, but they think it could have been Shinley, could have been Michter's.
Oh, okay.
But then somebody did like a little research there and actually interviewed one of the master distillers in the past with Michter's, and they said they never made it. So... Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, and Jim Beam actually acquired this one, the brand, in 1987.
Okay.
And then now here we are, made in Kentucky at one of the Beam campuses in Claremont or Boston.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So is this a buy for you?
I think
since you've already bought it.
I think I have already bought it. So I think for $100, no, I don't think I'd be a buy at that. Secondary is not much more. I think I'm glad I tried it.
Right.
I think what I'll probably do is, of course I'll keep it, but see how it opens up maybe in another month or two, see if anything changes with it. Worst case scenario would make a great cocktail though. So it's just a souped up version of 100 proof, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of painful making cocktails with a $100 bottle of whiskey.
100%
But no, I don't actually hate this. So the way price creep has gone with whiskey, $100 is probably a little steep for me, but honestly, for $80, I'd probably be in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's getting better too. Like I'm sipping on it more.
I agree.
I am enjoying it more. I think the way prices have been, man, I think I'm with you. $75, $80 is probably the tops.
Yeah.
But I mean now
it is an 11 year, so
you're looking at. I mean, my kind of personal thoughts on this is when I see an age stated whiskey of any type, it's about $10 a year.
Right.
So for this one, it'd be $110, 11-year-old. That's right on.
Yeah, it's actually undervalued, technically speaking.
Slightly, for sure.
Yeah. No, this is good. I'd probably pass, but I'm glad I got to try it. I don't know if I'd still if I didn't have a bottle, which I don't. I might if I see it. I might grab one.
I'll sell you this one.
Will you really? Can you sell it for $100?
For $100, yeah.
I'm gonna give you $120.
It comes with a nice cork too. You can have the cork.
I'm actually going to keep the cork. You can have the bottle, yeah. That is a thick-ass cork. Look at that.
It is.
It's like a fucking mushroom.
It is.
That's like the head of a... I'm not even going to say it.
I think I'm gonna go to Halloween next year as Old Overholt. I'm gonna dress up like that dude.
You're gonna do angry
have
Old
a snarl
Overholt
on my face.
You need like a fucking. That's not a bow tie even.
That's a bow tie.
That's like a handkerchief tied around in a knot around his neck.
He's definitely got ruffles on his white shirt though. Looks like mean George Washington.
It is.
It's kind of balding too.
It's like George Washington's stepdad.
Yeah, that's him. That's
his
name.
And then he had to adopt George Washington.
That's his father-in-law.
Yeah, and he was like, "You chopped down my goddamn cherry tree."
Or actually, he chopped it down and then blamed George for it.
He looks like he would have done that, yeah. And then he would have blamed ghosts or something like that.
Then he would have pardoned himself because he worked for the government.
Son of a bitch, working the system again.
Touche, sir.
Awesome.
Touche.
All right, man. Well, it's good. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. For more Arsenic culture, you can check us out on all the socials. We are at Arsenic Culture. We have a new website coming. We actually have a whole merch line coming pretty soon. Working on that right now. So stay tuned for more exciting shit, and we'll see you on the next one.